Have not met.
NK.
NK met on March 9th. Things of significance to us are that they approved their school calendar. I had requested that, I know there had been some discussion previously about trying to coordinate PD days and things. I don't know if that happened or not. I'm sorry if I...
They have a level of PD days.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Right, and they did have a presentation. One of the teachers at the high school had a civics class who had made some recommendations about their calendar and how many interruptions there were in the fall and various days. And unfortunately, many of their recommendations were not adopted in the crafting of the new calendar, but a few of them were, which was to make the professional development days consistent at various places in the school year. And so I think it was good that the students got the chance to see the process in action. They did meet, I didn't go, on Tuesday night, which was the 23rd. They had a joint meeting with the town council to discuss their budget, and the committee at the March 9th meeting, the school committee had decided that they were not going to present, as their town council had requested, 3 separate budgets to the council. I think their council had initially requested that the school committee present, I can't remember the figures, but basically 3 different budgets.
Scenarios.
Right, and the school committee decided that they would present their one budget. They did some research and said there weren't other municipalities where that occurred, that generally the school committee presented a budget and then the town council would comment on that budget and make any determinations after the fact. So I'm sorry I didn't go to the meeting on Tuesday where that joint session would have happened.
Okay, thank you. Sariko.
The last meeting was February 11th.
Which means we probably already recorded
I
it.
think that one was the same night as the school committee meeting.
And I didn't go
Remember
down.
that. We didn't go because we had executive session and couldn't
So maybe
do that.
that's why I'm drawing a blank.
But there was a meeting of just the superintendents last week. Part of the discussion was generating ideas of how the collaborative could serve districts in various capacities. So we generated a list of ways that they could help us. One was, that we might be able to get our ELL services through them, so that they hire or that they would broker a sharing with other districts of some services that we don't need full-time people for, tutors as well. And we discussed the federal innovation grant announcement to see if, it is clear if you read the proposal that, it's a lot of money. They're not looking for individual school districts to submit. So could we submit a collaborative grant? And I brought up my idea of distance learning, equipping Sariko to be able to broadcast distance learning in foreign language. And so we're meeting next week to see about developing a proposal for that. Something to write it, federal grants are pretty tedious to write, so. That's about it.
Okay, good. Legislative, I've been up at the State House many a time in the last month. But big news is the bill that I testified about, or wrote letters about, for the statewide health plan committee that was lopsided on the union side. It was a 12-member board. I guess it pays to be the squeaky wheel. So I'm now the school committee representative on that. Board of Directors of the Rhode Island Uniform Public School Employees Healthcare Benefits Program. So we had our first meeting. We're going to be meeting once a month and basically crafting a series of anywhere between 6 and, well, around 6 plans that communities could fit into. Because the idea is to consolidate the number of plans. So, still a little heavy on the union side, but it's my voice.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's, thank
Yeah.
you
Yes.
for doing that.
Policy.
Well, we met on April 4th, and
April 4th hasn't come yet.
what about March? We probably met on April 4th of some year.
Some year.
It would have been March 4th of this year. And we discussed Gwen has put together transportation policy. We discussed the parent volunteer background checks. Gwen is going to present to us a special ed, shall I say, physical restraint policy that we don't even have, I don't think. that we
It's not up to par.
need. Okay. And then Marcia brought up the idea of the residency tuition, bringing kids in from out of district, looking into that. We also discussed the out-of-state teaching experience and what we should be doing with that. Should we give credit for that? Should be contractual, should be policy, and we still haven't come in with a recommendation yet. So
Maybe we should take some comments from the rest of the committee on that.
that's a good point. Is this the time to do it as a
Or should it
committee
be an
report, or
agenda
should it
item?
be an
Yeah, I
agenda
think it
item?
should be an agenda item.
At some point, we'd
Well-
like your input on basically, should we credit out-of-state experience in teaching?
Or do we do it by contract or by policy, I think?
Right, yeah, basically, that's it.
If we decide yes.
I'll put it on the April 15th agenda.
And we're looking into the we've looked into different the background checks for parent volunteers, and who pays for the checks, and should we do out-of-state checks as well as just Rhode Island, because you can just go to the police station, parents very easily can get this and have the police send us the background check. But being such a small state, should we, we're discussing a point, should we, it's just a lot more expensive to have that background check from neighboring states. So,
Okay,
right.
thank you. Wellness?
We did not meet.
Okay, and teacher evaluation committee.
You got it in the superintendent's report.
Right.
It's,
Right.
We did not determine, however, in
Wait and see.
our last meeting, we did not, however, determine that no other state meets Rhode Island standards, did we?
We're not.
Okay. So anyway, we did not, we haven't done
Do
that.
that.
It could mean a couple different things.
All right, do we have a motion, public forum, does anybody like to speak? Okay, then do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.